So, this is going to be a video. It, it's going to be more or less question asking to myself, wanting opinions. So, on this channel, this isn't even like with Yugioh per se, but more or less with communities in general. So, one of the things I like to do is I like to do the deck profiles. Now, when you have a regional weekend such as this, you've seen John Moore fucking upload like 9 to 12 videos in a day, all right? It becomes a question of people complain. They're like, why aren't you explaining everything in full detail? And I think one of the things that this community versus other communities is, when you're on the 12th Metaphos deck profile, like, I haven't even explained ABCs. And, like, you don't really complain about that, but when you're getting into, like, doing the 12th Metaphos deck profile, you're here to explain what was different between this one in terms of tech choices as opposed to other things. And everyone's like, well, explain how Metaphos work. And by the time I've made the 12th Metaphos video, I consider it common knowledge at this point that the people inherently understand what's going on. Now, if something like Harpies tops this format, for example, now obviously, a little bit more in depth than that because you have to explain the inner workings of it. But I find it interesting in terms of this community, the fact that it's not even so much that people can't think for themselves, but often it's very apparent what it is. Now, not gonna lie, I've been one of those people that reading hurts. And amongst, like Jeffrey Torres, my friend Darren, sorry guys, I gotta call you out here. Like for a week straight, we didn't read Utopia of the Lightning, and we're playing on DevPro, and like we didn't read it, and we're like, why can't we rank up Utopic Zexal on top of Lightning? And for a week straight, we were like, nah, DevPro is flawed. And like the first fucking line on Lightning just says, this card cannot be used as XYZ material. And finally, Jeffrey read the card and was like, oh, and then he told me and I told Darren. And then it just was a systematic event just going through there. But, reading and simple interactions in this community, I don't know if it's just so much our community, but like our generation, and like I can go so much more into like the generation thing because it was one of the things I found fascinating in school was just like how shitty my generation actually is. Now, if you're one of those people that's sitting there on the broad side of the spectrum, you're like, no, Robbie, you're just retarded for flooding the market with all of your shitty fucking videos and stealing them from other people. No. One of the original concepts I had with this channel was the spread of information. That's why I started this channel back in 2008, 2009, was to spread my knowledge of gadgets. And you know what? The original mission on the channel, in terms of gadgets, I kind of lost faith in the game. And, like, you guys have been here with me on this journey. And you know what? I might not have that love that I had for that game years ago. Sure. However, I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed a change in my attitude over the last couple of weeks, just in terms of, taking this channel a little bit more seriously, in terms of actually kind of caring about the game, starting the Mulligan segment that's going to turn into possibly, not, I don't want to say so much create a card or things like that, but it will explore some of those things. Just a lot of things like that. So I'm sure a little bit of the spark and passion that you guys have seen, and probably a little bit more effort is a little bit more apparent. And on the downside of things, like, I'm not going to say that the channel was lazy together, but like the need to do deck list in 3 minutes, it's very apparent. Like, okay, so Mermail deck, number 5, like, all right, so we've seen Mermails out of the course of the 3 years. Okay, this guy played this was interesting tech. He played this was interesting tech. The rest of the deck is what I would consider standard. Now, the problem here is, as we were talking about common knowledge, all right, I spend a lot of time reading on the internet. I'm fat as fuck, and you know what? I enjoy spending time on the internet. I like to learn, and when you learn something, it's kind of like when you're writing a paper in school. Like you might have learned, shit. All right. You might randomly know that George Washington's birthday. Okay, that's a poor example. All right, you might know some random fact about a war that happened in England, and to you that is common knowledge. But if your teacher is, you know, reading, grading your paper, they might not consider that common knowledge, and they might knock you off of it because you didn't technically source it. And that's one of the problems I've always had with that argument is common knowledge versus what you should be looking up and learning. And with every person in this generation, um, what you know and what you consider common knowledge, it kind of comes in the terms of explaining something, all right? Because I understand something, I expect you to understand it as well. And it can be a poor mentality at times, sure. But not every person is on the same level as you. And I can understand why people can get frustrated with having to take in knowledge in such a short time. And other people just view it as pure laziness. Sure. And now other people are going to be like, Robbie, you're fucking stupid for sitting here trying to justify yourself. And you know what? This isn't a justification. It's more of an understanding of just what I wanted and what she wanted, what he wanted, you know. And you've seen those fucking memes. It's like the girl you want to date, her father, her brother, her ex, you know, like shit like that. And it's kind of just a flow across all planes. And you're like, well, how does this video have any relevance to me? Well, first off, we made the correlation earlier to reading is hard. And we talked about Utopia Lightning and just how fucking shitty one line of text can be to you thinking an entire software is buggy. And you know what? I'm pretty sure a lot more people are going to be guilty of it than they're going to let on. And, you know, sometimes it's one of those things. So the next time you're throwing tomatoes at a guy, you know, take time. Think about what his intention was, what he's doing. You know, the hardest thing in life is learning to view things on, you know, the other side of the fence. You know, like people always think that, you know, life is better on the other side of the fence. However, is it hard to try to understand what's on the other side of the fence and still be on your side of the fence? Does it make any sense? It's probably another terrible analogy. I'm fucking not good with these. And I hope people understand this, but like, this channel's intention is information and discussion. And one of the things that originally bogged me down was just thinking that I'm going to have to produce 350 videos each day as a discussion. And I think one of the things I kind of lost sight with was just how hard it can be to, in the long run, talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! That much. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that sucked my passion out, was just thinking about the raw numbers. And, you know, the Silent Enigma does a fantastic job talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Content as it's published daily. Meanwhile, on my channel, I just go straight to it, you know, give my initial thoughts, you know, kind of call it a day because that is who I am. Like, that's the best way to consider how I do things. And to some people, that's not what they like to see. And you know what, like, within the realm of my personality, I'm not super outgoing. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna sit here and be like, "Hey guys, what's up? Goofy here." Like, it's not. I'm not gonna put on a persona per se when I can just simply give information and stuff. No, that's not without saying, like, you know, we've had very many adventures on this channel. We've had the milkshake. We've had the YugiTube Awards that was what appeared to be me masturbating to a book. And you know what? Never would I post something so horrendous. I think that fucking video made it on the Pornhub. If you guys, you know, look that shit up. Like, there you go, Pornhub, free advertisement for you. I'm not going to link it, obviously. I'm not retarded, but it's out there somehow. But you know, this channel's had a great adventure, and you know, like, obviously I'm not ending it. And people are like, Robbie, you're in it for the money at this point. Just fucking let the cow die. No, you know, sure, money helps, and you know what? A lot of YouTubers will tell you that. You know, but if I didn't give two shits on this, I wouldn't make deck profiles every week. One of the things that posting deck profiles on the channel was it gave me information in the game when I didn't care about the game. I was forcing myself to learn. And to some people, that was probably painful, just kind of seeing a zombie recite decks and give minute thoughts on them. Now, like I said, I haven't really learned a lot. I mean, you've probably seen me playing gadgets the other day against spirals, and you're like, this is fucking terrible. Wait until you guys see me play DDD on camera, all right? It's probably going to be nail-biting. And, sometimes we misplay. There was a really good game that we played, and I didn't upload it because evidently Savant Thomas is not a DDD, it's a DD. And I made, the little fusion guy, and it was a good video. However, it was an illegal move, and it's something I'm trying to catch a little bit more of before uploading things on here, because one little misplay and it's punishing. And I know you guys expect perfect, but at times you have to understand that I'm not what I was in this game many years ago, and I think a lot of people grew up. They're definitely spoiled now with what is considered perfect playing. And I think it's one of the things that hurts this community on the flip side of things is you've come to this expectation of expecting perfection. And when one little thing happens that goes wrong, it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth and bad things start to run around. But that's that. It's one of the reasons why DN being gone is kind of good, because the format isn't solved in fucking a week. The game is, I'm not going to say it's healthier, and I know people will fucking fight me to the death on this, but once again, as we said in another video, it's just differing viewpoints. And I think it's one of the things as well this generation is, if it's not your viewpoint, it's the highway. And if you have a different line of thinking, fuck you. Are we really at this point? Is that what happens now? So I don't know. I like to use this channel for information. I'm really enjoying doing these discussion videos again. I was kind of inspired after watching Alpha Investments for Magic. That guy is fucking fantastic. Speaking your mind, I think it was one of the things I lost way with as I continue to ramble on into the endless void that is rambling here. Speak your mind on your channel. People like to hear your opinion. Obviously, people like to learn. That's what people are here for. And that's one of the things, once again, the struggle of common knowledge versus what you should know as to what you should recite. Two of those are the same thing. Disregard that. So, at the end of the day, try to pick up on stuff. I'm not going to say don't contemn for deck profile 4000 of Burning Abyss, but for as long as you've played this game, you should understand how Burning Abyss Phantom Knights works. Fogblade is arguably one of the best cards in the deck. You should understand how the interactions of the deck work. You should understand that Break Sword goes into Dark Rebellion and doesn't special summon when it gets Dark Hold. Josh, you're a retard, but reading is hard. And remember, as we talked about earlier, one simple second of your life to read one line of a card could save your life in a duel. So, moral of the story, guys, TLDR or too long, didn't listen, whatever your abbreviation is. This generation, much other generations probably in the future to come, definitely expect perfection. You expect to hear the same thing over and over and over again. Taking time to read is very hard. It's very interesting. And from a scientific approach, I would like to explore some of the human conscious and see why people think the way they think. I definitely enjoy things like this, thinking aloud and just asking people, why the fuck did you think that was a good idea? Just the general things like that. So guys, 2 Sensorino down below, dislike bars off. It was turned off because there were a hell of a lot of trolls. Now, you guys were complaining like, Robbie, you're such a fucking asshole for turning it off. You know, like, people can't complain about your videos. So for several videos, I would get like 40 dislikes and 6 likes with like 3 comments and so forth. And like, I get the general point that there was a misplay in the video, but harsh is harsh. And like, John was talking about that, like, there are just trolls that troll. You know, like, I turned that bar off, I lost 100 subscribers. Didn't look back, things have been much quieter. So it's not so much a punishment, and I don't want you guys to think of it as a punishment, but I wanted to take care of the stuff that was lurking on this channel, kind of dusting off the old slate. You know, just wanted to roll off the mantle and see how things are going. In other words, in a totally unrelated note, anyone's got any Magic the Gathering stuff that they want to contribute to a man wanting to start playing the game? I know I'm late, but like, this is like the first Planeswalker I've ever owned. I picked up at locals this week. I know it's I believe it's out of rotation now. But you know what? I've only ever owned a few Magic cards in my life. I think I own like 76 Worst Fears. Why not? You know, I think it was an investment. My friend told me they were like quarters. So I spent like a couple of bucks, bought some. You know, it didn't go up. I don't care. You know, I owned a Jace the Mind Sculptor several years back. Bought it for 70, sold it for 90, didn't look back. I bought one of the old decks that had like Chrome Mox in it, some crazy shit like that, played it. It was like one of the $10 Magic the Gathering Worlds decks. I don't know where it is anymore. It sucks because I wanted to dig it out and kind of just dick around with it a little bit, try to learn. You know, like, I think I had an Armageddon, which was worth like $2 that destroyed lands. Like, it's not a lot, but, you know, like, Magic is an interesting game. And watching my friend Beastress, or whatever the fuck the 2 combination thing was, he made it like 3 times, only playing like 1 of each card. And like, that fucking thing is cool. Like, Emrakul and things like that have always amazed me in the game. Actually, oh fuck, my Emrakul's all the way back there. Yeah, I also have an Emrakul. Why not? Flying fucking spaghetti monster. So, once again, rambling on. I'm going to end this video. Alright, guys. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support. And please check out Vanguard 40 for Cardfight Vanguard, M-Kohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.